retired. And one of the attendees calls me on Friday and says he'd like to stay an extra day in the hotel. So I suggested he call the hotel, maybe he'd be able to get that rate. And he calls me back 5 minutes later and he says, I don't have a reservation. I said, oh, that's nice. So I called the hotel. I have his confirmation number. I gave it to them. I'm sorry. I gave him mine. Confirmation? No. I gave him a few more people. They didn't have the entire group. And that's where I kind of like, my heart dropped. And then Baruch Hashem, when I spoke to the person that I arranged it an hour later with, he said, oh, that's the call center. They don't have that information, but the hotel has it. So that was wonderful. And then today, where there was a little mix-up, probably mostly my fault with the dates, and we were having an issue with the dinner, and Baruch Hashem, I have to tell you, Jonathan Dagme had pulled off an absolute miracle by putting together this meal, and I can't thank him enough. But it felt like maybe it was a little too much. And then Rabbi Glatstein spoke his opening speech, his opening shiur, and I remembered why I wanted to do this in the first place. So for all those listening, if you haven't heard his opening shiur on the Yarchei Kallah, you absolutely must listen to it. It's an absolute must listen. It was amazing, and it reminded me why I was so excited to do this. So we'll go from there. So anyways, I'd like to thank a bunch of people. Machon Maggid Harakiah it sounds like it's just Rabbi Glatstein giving shiurim, but it's in reality there's so many more people that help behind the scenes, and I'd like to try to mention some of them. I probably won't get all of them, but just so people should know what happens. Before I do that, again, I want to thank Jonathan for putting together this wonderful dinner. It's sponsored by shul.com, and Jonathan has helped Rabbi Glatstein immensely putting together a website and helping with his building his base medrash. So thank you again. Now I'm not going to do the next one justice, and I'm going to let Rabbi Glatstein fill in the blanks, but Rabbi Glatstein's parents have been amazing helping the Rav. And I think the words I was told is Rosh Havad and legal counsel. Is that accurate? Definitely legal counsel. I saw that in the airport. We'll talk. Yeah. And we have Aharon Subar here tonight. I'm going to ask him to say a few words when I'm finished, but he basically mans the emails, sends out Divrei Torah on a regular basis, and a lot of work. Did I skip something? Well, of course. Then we have Chaim Zeman, who religiously posts the parsha on YouTube and other forums, and all these things, just so people should realize what you accomplish when you do these things is, okay, so you posted a shiur, but when 30,000 people listen to a shiur, you get a piece of that credit for the 30,000 people listening. And you get a piece of that credit when somebody's going to listen to it in 50 years from now too. So it's really an amazing thing. I was doing some math in my head, and for those that don't know, Rabbi Glatstein has posted over 10,000 shiurim on TorahAnytime.com. So I was thinking, how many shiurim have been listened to? I came up with a number, and I mentioned it to somebody, thought I was crazy. I said 10 million. He said, how'd you get that number? So I said, okay, 10,000 shiurim, 1,000 people listen to a shiur, which is not so unusual, and there you go, 10 million. And then I was sitting with someone, I won't mention his name, who happens to have inside information on Torah Anytime statistics, and I was told that so far, Torah Anytime has 8,900,000 listens on shiurim, but they didn't start in the beginning, they started like a few years later, and that does not count all the other platforms, whether it's podcasts or YouTube or all the other things. So it's clearly well over 10 million shiurim. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because people should realize that what a zechus it is to be able to take part in things. I went with Rabbi Glatstein to Rechiel Michal Stern Shlita in Eretz Yisrael, and he told us he wrote 132 Sfarim. And he said, I had to stop. Why? I couldn't afford it anymore. And it's true, it's sad, but he couldn't afford writing Sfarim. It costs so much money to write Sfarim. Rabbi Glatstein is coming up in the next year with quite a number of Sfarim, and it just popped off my screen. But I'll see if you can just bring it up 1 second. Yeah, so we have Zakeni Legadel, it's on Chinuch Habanim, The Fire in the Soul, which is going to be on Lag BaOmer, Tzipisi Yeshua, we have Maggid Harakiah Aberrations Volume 2 for next year, The Mystery and the Majesty Spanish edition, and then we have a French edition, and we have the Patron Maggid Harakiah, Davar Yafa Be'itai, Lukute Ben La'ashri. There's so many Svarim coming out that we're just talking about in the next probably 15 minutes, the way Rabbi Glatstein works. But it's such an amazing opportunity for people to sponsor these Svarim and realize how important it is. If you go ahead and put down money to be able to put out a sefer, the schus that you get is so unbelievable. You can't even calculate it. Every time somebody picks up that sefer and learns from it, you earn a piece of that. Lachar Me'ah Ve'esrim, people always looking for schusim for the neshama should have an aliyah. We always say, right? But this is the way that neshama can have an aliyah. Is that if you had a schus in a sefer and somebody picks it up in 100 years from now, which they will, because it's there, you get a schus as well. So it's so critical that people realize what an opportunity it is for you to sponsor the Svarim. And if you do want to sponsor, you should please contact Rabbi Glatstein. A few more people that I didn't mention yet is we have Sal Orbach all the way from Eretz Yisrael. He's the Maggid Harakiah Israel division. And he also arranges tours. I have a newfound respect for you, by the way. We'll talk later. We have Yaakov Taubi, is that correct? Tubi, sorry, from Los Angeles division. I don't know what that says.
You have to thank Michael Mayer.
Well, of course.
And also mention Daniel's words, so we'll thank him more later.
Yes. Okay, and I'd like to welcome Jerry Wolowski for joining us. And there's no way that I could have pulled off any of this without the help of Michael Behar, wherever he is. What he did, he just said, I'm just boots on the ground, but trust me, he was a lot more than boots on the ground. He really did an amazing job. And of course, there's Mayor Glatstein, who does not want to be mentioned, so I won't mention anything about Torah Illuminated. I won't mention anything. I'll keep it to myself. And Gedalia Schwartz, who is sitting in Norfolk Airport waiting for a flight, he really is also amazing. I don't know if you subscribe to the WhatsApps. You should, the multiple WhatsApps. But all I know is if I don't get something from Gedalia every 15 minutes, something's wrong. So he's really amazing as well. So again, thank you for coming. Welcome. And I'd like to ask Aharon Subar to say a few words. Well, oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't have that. It's not going to work. Okay, very good. Reb Daniel, I don't know why I'm asked to speak, but maybe because I think I came in the very beginning. Not at the very beginning, but what happened? Reb Daniel used to post on Torah Anytime. And I used to used to commute, and when you commute, you want to listen to some Torah. So I listened to Torah. Maybe I listened to the one shir, maybe two shir, and all of a sudden I realized I heard a shir and it said, "Look at number 46." And I said, "What do you mean 46? I mean he has marmakomas with 46 marmakomas on them." I said, "That's something I want to get my hands on." Well, I don't know if I did it right away, but eventually through the power of the internet and Google, I eventually found Rav Daniel's number and I gave him a call, and I think it wasn't reluctantly, I said, "Oh, hey, fax." He started faxing to me. In those days, a fax turned into a PDF, an email, and now I started collecting them, and then I said to him, "Hey, this is great, so let's take that information, let's put it on Torah Anytime, there's a bio on there, let's put an email address," and suddenly we started gathering people, emailing us saying they want the marmakomas, they want to be on the list, and then from there it just started. It went from there to the podcasts, and I really wasn't involved in a lot of these things. It was just from the very beginning. I've had some good ideas, but it's been the other people that have been really gotten involved. Jonathan Dagmy and Chaim and Marcia in there at Israel, and who else is posting whatever it is? What?
Shoaib
Baghdadi, right? We didn't mention him. So now today I feel like a little, very small in the whole picture. But as Rav Nosson said, is that that little small has it multiplies and magnifies, and then it just what you did is a little thing. So now we have 2,500 people approximately every 2 times a week we send out emails. And it just spreads and spreads and spreads. And then I've had the zechus of going with with Reb Daniel, done some of his trips into England, into Eastern Europe, and it's been just a pleasure to be part of this Torah that I don't generate myself, but have a chelik in it. So anyways, I want to thank Nosson and everybody who's involved in this beautiful thing. And oh yes, I do want to say something, that I had the ultimate pleasure of meeting Rev Daniel's father, because he said that if you know anything about his history, is that he learned from his father, because his father used to be a discovery lecturer. If you know what discovery was, I don't know if it exists anymore. And he would travel with him, and he would learn from him. And to me that was inspirational, because I really admire that, and I see that he's taken that and run with it. So anyway, so it's been a pleasure meeting you, Rav Yosef. Okay. Anyways, thank you. Okay. Who's next? That's it? Okay.
That's all, folks.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to say a Dvar Torah, okay? Let me make a separate clip out of it. Do it. Okay.